us. Tonight is the April 23rd, 2020 Zoom webinar meeting of the East Fishkill Town Board. Please rise for the pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands,
one nation,
under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Good evening. Hope everyone's healthy, strong, safe during these tough, difficult times. But we're in this together, and we will be okay. We will win this. First, I'd like to mention that our comptroller, Mark Posniak, he will not be joining us tonight. Mark's mother passed away at the end of last week. So our thoughts and prayers go out to him and his family during this a little bit extra difficult time to lose a family member. So please keep him in your prayers for us. This month has been unlike any other that I've encountered since I've been your town supervisor. It's difficult to run the town government with the limited staff on site here at Town Hall. A lot of logistical issues to deal with, but we've been getting it done. I'd like to thank the town board for all their support and all the town professionals and town employees who have been working hard during this unusual time. I've had several department meetings by Zoom this past month. It's important to keep in contact with them, the department heads most of all. They let me know what's going on. They give me reports. Most of them give me reports on what their employees and what they are working on. They're catching up on some old work as well, which is good. Sometimes we never have time to do that. And also if any issues that arise that we can resolve together. This week, I discussed with them protocols about how to start getting back to business as usual. Hopefully that will begin soon. Government is essential business, and all the town departments will be staffed every day starting on Monday. If not, most of them have already started today. Thank you for those who have. We will continue to follow the governor's orders with the social distancing and the wearing of masks if there's more than one employee in the office at one time. The building department is getting busy too, busy every day. Even though the town hall is closed to the public, we are accepting and processing applications. Just call the building department. They will explain how to do this. It's on a case-by-case basis. They'll tell you how to get the particular permit you're looking for. We are performing some inspections, but we're not going into occupied homes as of yet. But we are working, and they are busy. Governor Cuomo has discussed his meeting that he had with the president at the White House the other day, specifically mentioning the need for the federal government to help states funding for frontline workers. President Trump told Governor Cuomo that he would be pushing for the funding to be in the next bill, which I'm hopeful it is. Governor Cuomo also clarified that at this point he was not declaring the school year to be over. So kids, you heard that? The school year is not over yet. The decision to reopen schools, he's tying it to an effort to reopen businesses because the need of some sort of child care so the workers can actually work, which makes sense. In regards to unemployment, Governor Cuomo stated that the majority of those who have not yet been approved for unemployment insurance benefits are workers that are self-employed or gig workers. He expects that backlog to be processed more quickly since a new streamlined application process has been implemented on Monday. All checks would include back pay to the date the individual became unemployed. Tomorrow is hashtag Farm Stand Friday. So if you're looking, you're craving some farm fresh foods that are produced right here in the Hudson Valley, you can support one of our Dutchess County farms. We have many in East Fishkill as well. You can find a list of those farms on the Dutchess County website. Also, Dutchess Tourism, they have put together a video to highlight the resiliency of our community. And they are promoting it with a new slogan, hashtag We Will Fly Again campaign. So please check that out on their website, that is Dutchess Tourism. Last month, we held a Paycheck Protection Program, or PPP, information session here at Town Hall. It was very successful. A lot of people got a lot of information out of it. Thank you to all those who did take part in that. The Paycheck Protection Program is expected to receive new funding today once the House of Representatives votes to approve it. This follows the Senate passing their version of the bill on Tuesday. This new bill will include an additional $300 billion to replenish the fund, $75 billion for hospitals, $60 billion for economic injury disaster loans, and $25 billion towards the implementation of testing program. Testing they've been discussing, which is very important for us to get back to business. So hopefully more of our local businesses can take advantage of this PPP program. You can make sure you call your local banker. They have all the details for you. The county executive, Mark Molinaro, has been having bi-weekly conference calls, Mondays and Thursdays, with all the mayors and supervisors in the county. He does a great job of giving us all information on the virus numbers, testing protocols, and now he's discussing a rollout for a big reopening and a restoration of social and economic functions. New York State's plan is spotty with specifics and timelines. Plus, the possibility of opening the state depends on their regional economic councils. So the state is divided up into different regional economic councils, and we are in the region that includes Westchester and Rockland counties. That's particularly problematic because Westchester and Rockland both have much significant higher COVID-19 numbers than we do. Westchester about 10 times Dutchess County's amount, and Rockland County about 4 times our amount. So I mentioned this today on the call with the county executive, and he assured me that they've been discussing this with the governor, and that governor knows that Westchester and Rockland counties will be included with the New York City reopening protocols, not with Dutchess, Orange, or Ulster counties. So that's good news. I've been in many discussions with the town of Wappingers, Fishkill, Pauling, town of Poughkeepsie, and Beekman to discuss a multi-town restoration plan, reopening plan of everything. Keep in mind that our county and New York State, whatever plan they implement will trump ours, but it's a plan in process, so we will be ready when the county and the state gives us the green light. So we want to be prepared for as much as we can so we can help all the businesses and citizens get back to normal. A lot of our businesses, they can't sustain much more than this. A lot of them have indicated that they're going to close their doors when this is all said and done. I hope that's not the case. I hope that this PPP program and other initiatives that the state and federal government are going to implement will help. We discussed this with the county executive today too, and I told him that we need the guidance, we need hope of this reopening plan, because pretty much some of these businesses, that's all they have right now. They only have hope. So we need to help them. We need to help them now in the next few weeks, not in a month from now. And he was in agreement, and most of the supervisors and mayors were all on board as well. In that same vein, all municipalities are in the same predicament, just like businesses. Some of our revenues come directly from people spending money, like sales tax. We are currently doing projections on what our shortfalls will be for the year. Like I said last meeting, we have implemented a spending freeze and a full-time hiring freeze. So we have no unnecessary spending. All spending goes through my office. We have some employees who are thinking about retiring soon. Those positions will not be hired, will not be rehired, meaning that all of us will have to do more work. I discussed this at great length with our department heads, and they are all understanding about what is going on. So thank you to all of them. East Fishkill, along with the town of Wappinger, we were going to be hiring a shared human resource director. That's on hold right now as well. We both have hiring freezes. We only will be looking to hire part-time employees right now because we seem to get the most out of them, meaning we don't have to pay fringe benefits such as medical insurance. So that's a cost savings for the town. I'm going to be contacting all of our federal representatives and urging them to include direct funding for our local governments like ourselves, regardless of population size, for the next federal package. I'm going to remind them that services like highway maintenance, snow removal, water and sewer infrastructure, police protection, parks and recreation, these could potentially can be cut somewhat. And the importance of our local government to the economy overall. And I offer to all our residents, please contact your federal representatives. Talk to them, tell them that your town needs assistance as well. This is definitely affecting all aspects of society, but we will weather this storm together. It's been over a month and a half since these many changes have affected our lives, but they were to keep us safe and so we don't spread the virus, and it's been going successful. So I'm happy about that. And you have all been terrific too, abiding to the rules the governor has set in place. And it's challenging, especially for our youth. And I like to thank all the youth in our community as well. They have a tremendous amount of patience. It's hard not to see your friends. It's hard not to go out and do what you want to do, play ball, and do the things that you're used to. So I'm proud of all the youth in our community, as we all are. And we're forever grateful to all our healthcare workers and all those who work in grocery stores, in delis, in restaurants, pharmacies, for all the work that you do. And especially to all our emergency responders, our police department, our fire district, our EMS services. They have done a tremendous job, and I'm very, very grateful. So many in our community of 30,000 residents are making such a difference in so many people's lives. I'm very proud to be the supervisor here with all the calls that you have given, all the emails, the notes you send me, offering your assistance. Thank you, thank you. All the people, thank you. That's why we are such a great place to live here in East Fishkill, because with all of you wanting and helping our community. And that's pretty much all I have. With our town clerk, call the roll.
Councilperson Cassidy?
Present.
Councilperson Franco?
Present.
Councilperson Marinaro?
Present.
Councilperson Deacon?
Present.
Supervisor D'Alessandro?
Present. Thank you, Madam Clerk. We have no public hearings tonight. We have, everybody has received the March 26, 2020 minutes.
Yeah.
Clerk, were there any additions, subtractions, modifications?
No.
No? Do I have a motion to approve the March 26, 2020 minutes?
So moved.
For the second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And it's approved. Thank you. There are no additions to the agenda. Okay, nothing for receipt and filed. We have courtesy of the floor. So tonight we are doing a webinar meeting, a Zoom webinar meeting, meaning people can dial in on this, on our Zoom. We posted the link, and we offer people to either call in, or they can be on film, or they could have sent their comments or questions to the town clerk in advance. We took them up to 3 o'clock today. Clerk, were there any emails or anything mailed into you?
No.
No?
I checked the
Okay.
email right up until about an hour ago, and we had checked the mail 3 times today, and there's been nothing in there.
So, Mr. Supervisor, we have a few attendees, and one of them is raising their hand as she would like to speak.
Excellent.
I'll allow her to speak now.
Thank you.
Ms. Hall, you've been promoted, so now you can speak.
Okay. Thank you. Can you hear
Hi,
me?
Ms. Hall. Good evening.
We can hear you.
Okay, I have a question about the certiorari. Is that how you say it?
Certiorari, yes.
Yes, on the agenda today. I'd like to know if that property is owned by the same people when the dumping took place. The Hopewell
Tom, your volume, Tom.
What's that?
We're
It's-
just unmuting the
it's-
attorney.
Yeah, it's owned by DeNicholas.
Okay, and that's the same people that allowed Hopewell Precision to lease his property back in the 70s when the dumping took place?
I believe so. I'm not sure of that, but the EPA has obtained the release and given a release to Hopewell Precision with respect to the Superfund issues.
I understand that. So I have a question. Do they have water or air contamination?
I don't know. They submitted an appraisal of the property for an amount less than what we're proposing to resolve this for.
So you're not going to let them do it right now? Are you-
No, our resolution tonight is to settle it with the assessed value for 475,000.
Right.
So they were showing a appraisal of 440,000.
Correct.
Yeah. First of all, it's the same people that own it back then. I know that. And I'm just wondering, I understand they had somebody come and appraise it and all that, and I'm sure that they're gonna say, well, it's lower in appraisal because of the contamination.
I'm not sure if that's what they'll say. Have they indicated such?
No, the appraisal was based on market value.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Because I just found it funny that, back in the 70s, they allowed an industrial company to lease from at a commercial property. So, I just was wondering why they wanted to lower their assessment. And if they were using the contamination as an excuse.
Well, no. What happens with a commercial property, most of the evaluation is done based on a rent roll, etc. So if they've had part of the building vacant or the rent's changed, all of those are factors which play into the valuation of commercial properties.
So now theirs is appraised for 580, and you're
Right. The proposal is to reduce it to 475.
From 550, and their
550.
and their appraisal was 440.
According to the parcel access, it says that their full value is 580.
Well,
Well,
parcel access isn't 100% accurate,
Right.
Tom?
Right.
Okay. It's always been accurate when I look at it. For anything that you guys have ever done, this is the first time it's not right.
So the town of East Fishkill holds we do the the assessments on the property.
Correct.
Our assessment card was 550,000 from our assessor's office, so.
Right.
Okay,
I don't know what.
not right on here. Okay, thank you.
Okay.
I appreciate you answering the questions.
Okay.
Thank you, Ms. Hall. Hope everyone's healthy and safe.
Be safe.
Mr. Supervisor, we have another person who raised his hand, Mr. John Koch.
Sure.
Good evening, everybody.
Mr. Koch, how are you?
All right, good. My question is about the appointment of the temporary seasonal intern.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, can you elaborate a little bit on it, exactly what his duties are going to be?
Yeah, so usually last year, we had a similar intern that would assist us in the engineering department. Thank you. And this year, same thing. But this gentleman who is a student in Penn State, and he is in an accounting master's program, would also aid in the comptroller's department as well. So we are going to be having a employee is going to be retiring in one of those departments, and the town is not going to be replacing that. And it just works out well that we'll get a little inexpensive help at that time that we'll need it. And it's only for the summer.
It stipulates that he's going to be helping out with the water rates. Will he also be helping out with the sewer rates?
Depending on what we need help with.
Okay, then anytime he's working on the sewer or water rates, I would hope that those hours are billed back and reimbursed to the particular water district or sewer district that he's working on. and not through the general public taxpayers.
Sure, absolutely, Mr. Koch.
That should be stipulated then in the resolution tonight, that any
How
of
about
his
if I don't have him work on any of that, Mr. Koch? Is that easier?
What happens, just so maybe, is that the town controller allocates any time. What we do every year, and this might have changed, John, since you were on the board, is every year when the town board adopts the budget, there's amounts taken from each of the water and sewer districts and reimburses the general fund for the time of, say, the town controller or town engineer. If there's any expenses above that, like this might be, then the controller will back charge the respective districts. So that's a process that's already in place and does occur.
Okay, so you're saying that basically a set price is, a set amount is assigned to each district, and then only if it goes over that amount, then it'll be transferred.
No, that set amount is to reimburse for the regular full-time employees of the town who might do work for those respective districts. Any other work is specifically charged to the districts. So this seasonal, if he does work for any of the districts, it will be charged against the districts that time.
And all the employees basically does a log or reports to the controller on the amount of time that they work on either a sewer or water district?
Only those that are not used in the annual estimate of administrative reimbursement to the town. Some years ago, an analysis was done about the time allocation of like the town controller, the town engineer, the billing person in the controls office who does the billing for the districts. And then a average of that amount is now annually assessed to the various districts depending upon the number of users.
Okay, thank you for your answer.
Thank you. Michael, anyone else?
Nobody else has raised their hand at this point. There are two other people on as attendees, and no one else has raised their hand.
So should we wait a second, or that would be it?
That would be it.
Okay. Okay, so with that, we have resolutions. We are going to do a consent agenda like we did last week. We'll review each one. The first one is to award the bids tentatively for the concession stands at the camp, at the Red Wing Park, and the soccer complex. So as most of you know, we have concessions at all these facilities, and right now we don't know what's going to happen with these facilities. We don't know if camp is going to be going on, if Red Wing is going to be going on, any of them, because the county right now is suspending all applications from all the municipalities for the camps or the lakes and such, and pools. So we'll have to wait and see what the orders will be, and if we do open and it is later, then we will set the price accordingly. They will only pay for what they use. Carol, you have discussed that with all the ones who made the bidders?
Yes, and as well as the recreation, directors. We've discussed that with them as well.
So Nick, you're saying, in other words, that this will be prorated from the time, if in case and when we open the camps or recreation?
Exactly, exactly right.
Okay.
Normally, Nick, as of right now, they would have already started. You know, under the normal thing, they would have already started. So we're off schedule.
3 weeks into the season or so.
Yes.
Any other comments or concerns, questions? No? Our second resolution is to authorize the extension of the retirement incentive payment. So last year, the town board, we offered a retirement incentive package for those employees who are at the point of retirement, and we offered them a little incentive if they would do that. So we're going to extend that this year. It works out very well for the town if they do. A lot of these employees have been here a long while, and God bless them. Thank them for all their services. But they are at the higher end of the payment plan, I should say, payments. So it is beneficial to the town if we would get new blood in. So we are offering this package to them. They have to notify the town by June 30th of this year that they will retire, and their last day to work has to be by September 30th. Any comments or questions or concerns about this, board? We did do this prior last year. No. Number 3 is a tax certiorari on 15 Ryan Drive, which Mrs. Hall did call in about. That is 15 Ryan Drive down Route 82. They had their property was assessed at $550,000, which they challenged. They brought in an appraisal showing $440,000, and it is going to be resolved at $475,000. Any comments or questions about that? No. Number 4, brush drop-off. So we are getting a lot of calls at Town Hall about brush drop-off. People are home, they're cleaning up their yards. They want to get going. They want to get to the brush drop-off. So we are planning to start it early. We're planning for May 4th. Clerk, have you sent out the RFPs, correct?
Yes, I sent out the RFPs to the 3 facilities that are approved for this.
Approved
that
sites,
have,
right.
you have all the requirements. I sent them out via email as well as hard copies in email.
Excellent. And it is stated in there that whoever wins the bid knows that they have to adhere to all the COVID-19 regulations that the governor has put in place. And the program will run from May 4th to June 5th, and then again in October. If we do have a very successful and people are calling that they wanted to extend past June 5th, then the board will make a decision late in May. Any questions?
A lot of people are calling. A lot of people are calling.
A lot of people calling, right.
So Carol, when are the bids? The bids are due on the 27th or prior to the 27th?
The 27th at noon.
Okay.
Should we also remind people that the old brush drop-off location is private property and they should not be dropping anything there
I've been saying it constantly.
until we reopen or we award the bid on May 4th?
Yeah, I've been saying it. I'm sure people are doing that. I know they're doing that. I try to discourage people when they ask if they can do that. I say, no, both myself and the staff say, no, you cannot do that. It is private property. It's not something that the town owns.
Correct. Thank you.
So Carol, we have 3 possibilities of
Yes, 3 locations that are approved that fit the
people that are gonna
criteria
bid
for the brush drop off.
Okay.
So the lowest bidder will win that, and I will let everybody know where that will be.
Yeah.
Any other comments or questions? No? Number 5, set a public hearing for industrial zones. So we are planning to conduct a public hearing at 7 p.m. on June 25th, 2020 at our regular town board meeting to do a supplemental public hearing to the industrial zones. As everybody knows, we did last year have a moratorium on industrial zones, which we did a comprehensive study on, which we added to our master plan. And we did have some changes there that we wanted to add to it, some zoning changes, also some changes about where we could put some of the, construction yards. That was an issue in town. So we wanted to also add that to this, to potentially have certain sites in town where they can have those locations, and to help construction companies and lawn maintenance companies have a place where they can go. So it's best we reopen the public hearing and or have a new public hearing to discuss all that. Any questions or comments about that? No? Okay. Number 6, was appointed temporary seasonal intern, the engineering and controller. Usually we do have a intern. The last several years we have. It's been working out very well. This young man, Mr. Ross, he is a student at Penn State University, majoring in accounting and enrolled in an integrated master program. Very impressive. So he will be a big help to us for a couple of months for the summer, but that's all we will have him for. Any comments or questions about that? No? Okay. Number 7 is designate May 3 through May 9th National Travel Tourism Week. If you can bear with me, I have to read this resolution. Whereas travel has a critical role in Dutchess County, New York, and the nation's economic prosperity, and a robust travel industry has provided significant economic benefits for the nation, generating more than $2.6 trillion in economic output last year, with $1.1 trillion spent directly by travelers in the U.S. And travel has been the foundation of a healthy workforce, serving as one of the largest private sector employers in the U.S., supporting 15.8 million jobs in 2019, including 9 million directly in the travel industry and 6.8 million in other industries. And spending by travelers has aided state and local governments alike, generating $180 billion in tax revenue last year to support essential services and programs. And visitors in 2018 spent $642.2 million in Dutchess County alone, contributing $79.7 million in county and state taxes, creating 11,024 jobs with a combined income of $351.9 million for our friends and neighbors. Meetings, events, and incentive travel have always been a core business function that helps companies strengthen business performance, educate employees and customers, and reward business accomplishments. And leisure travel, which accounts for more than 3/4 of all trips taken in the U.S., spurs countless benefits to travelers' health and wellness, creativity, cultural awareness, education, happiness, productivity, and relationships. And businesses and workers in the travel industry were some to the first and hardest hit by the economic crisis resulting from coronavirus. And travel and tourism dependent businesses, 83% of which are small businesses, depend on our community support through and after this crisis. And the leaders of our state's travel and tourism industry truly encapsulate the spirit of our community and our nation. And even while the town of East Fishkill cannot welcome visitors in person, the spirit of travel and hospitality remains the enduring ethos of the travel industry and Dutchess County. And the spirit of travel will be a necessary and prominent component of our return to everyday life and must be supported and protected at all costs. Now, therefore, be it resolved, I, Supervisor Nick D'Alessandro, do hereby proclaim May 3 through 9, 2020 as National Travel and Tourism Week in the town of East Fishkill, and urge the citizens of the town of East Fishkill to join in recognizing the critical role this industry plays in the town of East Fishkill and throughout Dutchess County, New York. I had to read that. It is very important. Tourism is very important. My wife said I better read the whole resolution as well because she is the chair of the board of directors for Dutchess Tourism. So she is pushing tourism, and it is very important for us. It is significant revenue for our county. And once we get back to work and business, it will help aid us in recovery. So any comments or questions about that? No? Okay, so with that, do I have a motion to accept resolutions 1 through 7?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried, thank you. That does it for resolutions. No budget transfers, no additions. Comments. Let's start with our highway superintendent. Is he still here? Ah,
I am here.
There he is.
I'm here. So you guys all know we had that windstorm that did quite a bit of tree damage around our area, kept us busy for a while. We're just about done with all the cleanup, removing some of the bigger logs from some of the bigger trees that came down. We should be done with that tomorrow. We are also back in full swing with different start times due to the COVID-19. But everybody is healthy. My crew is all good. Everybody's back. The recreation is back to work. And we are also out filling the potholes. We started doing that the other day. Other than that, we've been busy.
Excellent. Thank you. Thank you, Superintendent.
You're welcome, Nick.
Chief, how are you tonight?
Well, thank you. How are you doing?
Doing well. What do you got for us, Chief?
So since our last meeting, we've had 2,900 calls for service. We've conducted about 67 offense reports. And arrest-wise, we had 2, which were traffic-related, which would be like DWIs, 3 drug possession arrests, 4 arrests pertaining to larceny, several others. And on the good news, since our last town board meeting, I've been keeping track of the medical calls, which resulted in about 56% of all the medical calls either being positive for COVID-19 or patient suffering from possible COVID-19 symptoms. During the last week, it's down to only 41%. So we've had a 15% drop in COVID-19 possible calls, which is a great thing. We had that massive storm, and the town highway department and the East Fishkill Fire Department were there. They had our backs the entire day, and I want to thank them in front of everybody tonight. And also, we've had a big outreach from the community. Several businesses, several families have been dropping off supplies to the police department, masks, gloves, food, and I have a list that is a mile long. And if you give me another minute, I'd love to read it over the air. Is that possible?
If you'd like to read, absolutely.
So as far as businesses go, we've received items from Oriental Kitchen, Petro Oil, Four Corners Market, Remax Realtors, Plated Restaurant, Pizza Time Restaurant, Corsi Investigations, iPark, Gian Bruno's Restaurant, Hopewell Hot Bagels, Frankel's Deli, DC 1013, Pizza Village, 7 Day Challenge, Daddy O's Restaurant, Aliano's Restaurant, Tiramisu Restaurant, Fresh Restaurant, Tomas rather, his restaurant, Little Joseph's Restaurant, East Fishkill Provisions. We've received items from the Rivera family, the Bartolotti family, the Eckert family, the Byer family, the Humphreys family, the Keith family, Lucy family, Mistakis family, and the DeRosa families. All these people donate to us big time. I from the bottom of my heart, thank you very much.
That's great.
That's great, Chief. I'm surprised that the deputy supervisor, he didn't go down for all that food. You know, he's always
Awful lot of restaurants. All these guys do is eat.
I know I missed at least one family and one business. I apologize, but I did the best I could to keep this list. People have been so generous, it's been hard to keep track.
Thank you, Chief. Councilman Bepan.
First, I'd like to thank all the residents for working with us, the state, the county. You guys have been doing so well, adhering to the guidelines set forward by the governor for us to follow. Thank you for all that you do, because the more that you do keeps our first responders safe. Chief, please thank the guys and the girls of the East Fishkill Police Department for me and us. They've been doing a tremendous job. And East Fishkill Fire District, all the efforts they did, along with the highway department at the last storm. I was listening to you guys on the scanner. You guys were busy all day. And so really, thank you for all your efforts. Just a few announcements from the Recreation Department. All summer programs registration, it's open online. You do not have to pay for it now. So it's register now, pay later. And obviously, this is only going to happen if we have camp this year. Red Wing Lake will not open on Memorial Day weekend as it usually does in the past. Hopefully we're going to open sometime in the end of June, but we'll keep you all updated with that. The Sons of Italy Carnival will not be taking place on Memorial Day weekend. All parks will remain open for passive recreation only. So social distancing still applies, and there's to be no organized activities in any of our parks. All playgrounds remain closed until further notice. All programs, activities, and special events are being reevaluated as time goes on. We're working with the town supervisor, the recreation department, the county, to determine when it's safe to continue and resume those activities. Our senior citizen staff is continuing to contact all of our homebound seniors, and they're still doing meal deliveries. And so I'd like to thank everyone from Dutchess County Nutrition and everyone at the community center for helping with that.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman Franco.
Just a big thank you to all of our first responders and all those people that are out there in the front line, everybody in our government, all Nick, the supervisor, everybody there working every single day. And you know, we're all essential. And I think it's very important for everybody to know. And I can't wait for everybody to be back out and get working. And Chief, just to echo all of those great people and organizations, businesses, restaurants that donated. Like I always like to say, you know, we say that East Fishkill is a great place to live. That's because we got great people who live here. And that's a big, big deal. So thank you to all of our residents.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman Marinaro.
So like the highway superintendent had mentioned before, the highway department has been quite busy, you know, even though we had to, you know, adhere to the fact that the governor had put a mandate to reduce the workforce. But like the highway superintendent mentioned before, you know, we have a lot of work that needs to be done. And I think that, you know, possibly, I don't know if we decided yet, Nick, I know we discussed about it. Possibly soon, we need to put everybody back in because we have a lot of projects that we need to take care of and we cannot fall behind. So the storm, as the highway superintendent mentioned before, was a big issue. And the guys at the highway department worked together with our police department and our first responder, the East Fishkill Fire and ambulance. And they did a great job. I mean, everything went out smooth. Some of us, including you and I, Nick, lost power. But, you know, with the help of everybody, it was restored. And everybody in town was really happy that Central Hudson took care of a lot of outages out there. You know, there is cold patching that is taking place at the highway department. Also, people in town might see that there is a sweepers going around. We are starting to clean some of the roads. And like we've been having meetings with the highway superintendent and the town supervisor regarding paving. You know, we had planned on doing a lot of paving this year because we had some money saved from the light winter that we had, but we don't know how we're gonna use those funds at this time. We are still planning on doing, you know, quite a bit of paving and address that issue. So we are gonna be busy in the next few weeks, you know, planning and discussing those. And that's a very important issue for our community. So I also want to thank at this time everybody that really is enduring this bad virus. I know I have a business in the community and I deal with the community every day. And I look in people's face and you know, a lot of people are walking around scared. They don't know what's going to happen from one day to another. Hopefully everybody will be safe. I mean, if we keep on practicing, you know, the guidelines that have been issued from Washington and Albany and Dutchess County and our town supervisor. So hopefully we're all going to be safe and we're going to be back in our normal lives. I want to thank you guys and God bless our town and our community.
God bless.
Thank you. Thank you, Councilman. Deputy Supervisor, are you awake?
No. Just real quick, I'd just like to thank all those that are out there on the front line. I've seen a lot of them out there. Cops, nurses, fire departments, businesses that are still open. Really urging you to help support them in any way you can. And more importantly, everybody just stay safe, and hopefully we will be back out in the public soon. Everybody stay safe.
Thank you, Deputy Supervisor. So our next meeting will be our workshop on May 14th. We will be having that. We have a few things to discuss, so either by Zoom or perhaps in person. But that will yet to be determined. I'd also like to thank Michael Cunningham, one of our attorneys, who is assisting us as host tonight for our webinar. Michael, thank you very much.
Thank you, Michael.
Thank you, Michael.
Happy to do it.
And with that, please stay safe, everyone. Thank you to the board for all your work and all our professionals. Thank you very much. And with that, do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Have a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion adjourned, meeting adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good night.
Good night, all.
Good night, everyone.
God bless.